Hello, welcome to Redmen TV. It's Uncensored Match Build-Up Show time. The EFL Cup
Yay.
is back. We're playing Derby County Tuesday night. Not much lead-up time on this because be arsed working on a Sunday. So we're going to do it now. Chris is here. Aubrey's here. They're chock full of research and knowledge. Chris, how did Derby get on in the last game?
They drew 1-1 with Bristol.
They did indeed.
Which Bristol?
I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah, not exactly flying high in the Championship are Derby County at the moment, but if nothing else, Chris, we're at least now back in the round of the League Cup where we normally start in it.
So we're going to field the kids then? Because this is normally the round where we field the kids. We don't normally play the one where we play our full-strength team.
Yeah, well, there you go. More on that later in the show, I guess. But this is the thing, is that this is when you realise the League Cup is like, it's over in a blink of an eye, isn't it, generally speaking? But it is when you get this round, you're like, oh shit, if we had European football, this is normally where we come in. So, you know, almost like the work we've done up to this point is pretty much for naught. Like I say, this is kind of where the competition starts.
Yeah, it does. And look, it's going to be interesting to see. We were just talking off camera, you weren't here, Paul, about who he's going to play in this round. I think this is where the most interesting talking point, isn't it? From how are we going to set up, who's going to get those games. You know, we know that Firmino, Wijnaldum, and who was the other one? Daniel Sturridge didn't train on Sunday. So there's three people that were probably thinking, okay, they're not gonna play. We saw Joel Matip at the Full Food Festival in Liverpool on Sunday. He did train, so so you know, is he gonna play? And this is where it comes to. I'm really unsure how Jurgen Klopp's gonna set up for this game, and I think we've probably all got different ideas about, is he gonna go full strength, is he gonna go kids? But for me personally, I think, you know, if they're not going to get game time in the League Cup, who are these people on the fringe of the squad? Where are they going to get game time?
It was interesting, if you look at the pictures from training, you start to like, think I'm reading too much into it, but there's Conor Randall getting a big hug off Klopp, and you're thinking, are the website just trolling us basically by showing us what the pictures that make us think about stuff, or is that just, you know, we're thinking it because it's quite obvious that they're the kind of things that are going to happen?
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? We legitimately don't know, because there's two trains of thought. Was the team he picked at Burton always going to be the team he fielded? So he was going to go strong in this cup because he thinks, fuck it, we can go strong, win something. These players should be able to handle 2 games a week every so often. Mm-hmm. Or was the Burnley result... Did the Burnley result affect that?
Yeah.
So he needed to go big, he needed to put the bigger name players into it, because he needed to breed the confidence into the team and almost punish them for not being well against Burnley, or get the fans back on side.
I think Klopp thinks he can win this cup, though. Yeah. I think he'll be so annoyed that how close he came last time that he'll think, no, you know what, I'm just gonna go out and win it, because it's not a lot. There's not a lot of football. All you've really got to think about is the FA Cup starts in January, but realistically, the semi-finals of this, you know, they're the 2 extra games that you're gonna have to play. Then.
Yeah. And again, it's like, you know, we've seen winning. We've said it all along. We said it last season. It was so important for him to win something, or it would have been so important. 2 finals didn't quite do it, because A, this team's got a reputation as being chokers, and B, it just gets that monkey off your back. You've won a trophy, you know. Like one of the biggest things any new manager can do is come in and win a trophy straight away. Yeah. Win a trophy early on, because it removes all that like criticism. It removes the comparisons. You know, if you're an Everton manager, go and kill that chant early off the back, and the fans will just idolise you forever. At Liverpool, give us a successful day out. We've had 2 days out that we enjoyed as fans. Chris
enjoyed one of them.
Give us a.
I'm not even sure I enjoyed one of them, to be honest. But that's based on 45 minutes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So but I don't know. Like, does Klopp strike you as the type of manager who, shit, it didn't work well at Burnley, so I'll throw out what my whole plan was going to be and completely change that for another game, which would be the Burton game? It doesn't strike me as that. Yeah. So if by using that comparison, you're looking at it and you're going, oh, he's going to play a really strong team again, because he played a strong team against lesser opposition in an earlier round against Burton. But you've got the argument of, where do these players actually ever get any games? Well, is he being ruthless? Does he not care? That's the big
question, isn't it? Is about we've got a big squad. We'll come on to that in 2 seconds. I just want to do the trivia question first. I want the people watching at home and the people in the studio who haven't already gone and looked up the answers.
I knew one and I still don't know the other.
Name the 2 players to play for both Liverpool and Derby County who are currently playing in the Premier League. There's like 2.5 to this.
There's a half player.
I'll give a half mark, an extra half mark
Is
for
there a
anyone who gets
coach
there.
or something?
No, we'll come to that in due course. Stay tuned. At the end of the video, and we'll talk you all through it. So yeah, just continuing on then, Chris. I guess we did go big against Burton, but what we were also able to do was change a couple of little things. Divock Origi got some game time in that one as well. Emre Can came back in for that. Joel Matip came in as well. We, as Aubrey said, we have got a big squad for the amount of football that we have available this season. Although I can't see personally us going, 11 changes or whatever. I can't see a team of kids playing, but I can see that there's clearly opportunity for us to rotate a few to keep the level at the same.
Well, that's it. I think that one of the things that we've got, because we've got a big squad, is that when we're talking about rotating players, let's say I'm taking Karius as an example, right? He's got the potential to be our number one. It's a good game to bring him back in. But then if you look at the left back, you might rotate a player, but it's not a kid you're bringing in. It could be Alberto Moreno that you're bringing in at left back. He's hardly a guy that you've not seen play before. Yeah. And then in the midfield, it might be that you bring Chan in. Well, that's not bringing a kid in either, is it? So there's a potential for 4 or 5 changes from established, experienced Premier League footballers.
Yeah.
And so then can you afford to make 2 with kids or something like that? It's a really tough one. I started out with the opinion of I'm not going to make that many changes on my starting 11, and then I was like, okay, you were counting them up, weren't you? You were like, that's 7 already. Yeah. And I've still got 2 players to go or something like that. And you're like, Divock Origi, again, he's a guy who could come in. He is a kid, but he's a first teamer.
Exactly. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a kid.
Yeah, Woodburn, Ajaria.
Woodburn, Ajaria are kids. Now, you might see, I don't think you'll see Woodburn anywhere near it because Danny Ings is there. I think you'll see that. I think there's certain players like that you'll see involved, but that's it. We've got, there's probably 3 or 4 players who, if we want to get useful game time out of them when we need it in the second half of the season, we're going to have to start drip feeding them into the side in these sort of games and hope, where it's not going to totally knock your rhythm off in the Premier League where it matters. So the questions I'll pose to you, I want 1 player from each who defo shouldn't play and 1 player who defo should, and then we'll see if there's anyone left over after that. I'm gonna kick it off.
Okay.
One who defo shouldn't play is Simon Mignolet.
Damn it.
Which would therefore lead into the one which I'll switch it up is the Karius absolutely defo should play because he's there, he's back fit. We know what we're getting from Simon Mignolet. Now there is a case to be made for consistency and keeping as many players in as possible, but for the reasons why Karius wasn't getting launched in last Friday, is that there's no sense in throwing him in at deep end when you've got this opportunity presenting itself so shortly afterwards. So for me, Mignolet, there's nothing to be gained from Simon Mignolet starting this game, so I wouldn't bother.
Okay, do you want to go next, Aubrey?
Not really.
Okay.
He's just made it. It shows you how difficult. There's an argument could be made for every one of these players to play. Because normally, my normal train of thought would be someone like James Milner shouldn't play this game. Why? Because he's 32, he's 33, however old he is. We know everything we're ever going to know about James Milner. So put someone else in that position so that you can learn about them. But then if you're going to try a new goalkeeper, do you want to get the goalkeeper time with the actual left back?
With the back 4.
With the back 4. Are you going to trial a new centre-back partnership of Clavan and Sacco? Would you want them to learn with who they are who the first choice left back is?
Well, actually a fantastic point there because we know that he's nowhere near fit enough to be involved, but he's there. He's a senior professional. If for any reason you were choosing to rotate the centre-back pair, then we have the players there to create an entirely new centre-back pairing if we wanted to. Yeah. I'm not sure I'd necessarily want Clavan and Sacco as the partnership because of the whole left foot thing, which is totally
it's fine when they're both right.
Exactly, it's totally biased against me people. Yeah. But it's been bred into us by the media, all the lefty hate, but it's probably right. But Sacco probably wouldn't enter into most conversations on this, and yet he falls into the Ings, exact same as the Danny Ings category, doesn't he? Very good footballer.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a really difficult one. I would say purely from a personal point of view, and I don't think this will happen. I think he'll start. I would say you shouldn't start Adam Lallana. Give that lad a break.
Yeah.
He did fucking 12k against Tottenham. He did 12.5k against what
Probably jogged home as well afterwards.
Yeah, walked home. You know what I mean? He's just ran so much recently. I think keep him in cotton wool. Don't give him time off. Use him in Hull because we need to be beating Hull in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But Lallana might actually be one of the first names on the sheet because he's one of the first names on the sheet all the time.
Yeah.
And I think those are the players that will have more conclusive proof of how serious Klopp is taking this cup and cups in general after this game.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we're come. The other one was after the defeat against Burnley, so there's always that question mark. You've gone away and you've beat Chelsea. You've beat Chelsea well. If you were going to give people a time off and deserving, it's now. He doesn't need to breed the confidence. He doesn't need to do that. So who knows?
Yeah.
Should play? Are we moving on to should, or are you doing?
I want Chris shouldn't.
I'm going to go with Jordan Henderson shouldn't play in the defensive midfielder role.
Okay.
Because it opens up a spot there for potentially
Chan
two
or
other
Stewart.
people. Chan or Stewart, yeah. I think we've seen that if Henderson still wasn't playing very well there and he was the long-term thinking, I would say, okay, yeah, get him used to it, much like the James Milner getting used to the left-back position. But I think he's proved now 2 games on the bounce that he understands that position. And if he's thought there long-term, we know that he can do it now. And I think it's important that we get... I think... Probably for me, maybe, obviously you want to get Chan into some kind of fitness, but if Stewart's the guy that's going to come off the bench in big games like against Chelsea with a few minutes to go, you kind of need to get him proper minutes on the pitch so he's not coming in cold all the time. So for me, yeah, Henderson, not in that position. I'm not saying he shouldn't start though.
Okay. No, I think all very good suggestions. Okay, one who defo should.
Yours Karius, is it?
Well, yeah, carries by proxy of the fact that it's not going to be
Manninger.
It's not going to be Manninger. But yeah, I think it's tricky from that perspective. If Emre Can's fit and he's been training enough, he absolutely should start because he's not played enough football this season. Beyond that, you start to get into that. As you say, how many changes are you looking to make? I actually think I don't think we should change the centre-back pairing. I can see us changing the full-backs because of how thin they are in the ground in terms of the squad. But what you're saying, if you bring in Karius in, I'd keep Matip and Lovren in front of them because that's the guys he's going to have to work with week in, week out. So then I'm open to suggestions.
I'm going to go one player who should, and it's probably not going to be massively popular, it's definitely not going to be agreed with, Mamadou Sakho. I think as one of the better defenders at our club, if he's proved to Klopp behind the scenes that he's got his head down, he's knuckled down, he's started to act like the professional off the pitch that he should do, this is the perfect time to bring him back in because you never know if he comes in with a world-class performance and someone drops in with an injury, are we really more comfortable with Klavan or Sakho? And I think having Sakho have game time could be a nice way to drip feed him back in.
Klavan.
Okay, that's fine. I think Mamadou Sakho's still one of the better, definitely top 3 defenders at our club, and I put Klavan behind him from what I've seen of them both. Yeah. I've not seen Klavan hit the heights of Mamadou Sakho when he's been in form.
He's not giving me any heart attacks thus far, which
I
helps.
can understand.
Yeah. What do you reckon, though?
Divock Origi.
Yeah.
I think he's come off the bench against Tottenham and against Chelsea, and we drew and we've won away from home in London. The good results. So to say he's underwhelmed is quite harsh, but I think he needs game time. He got his goals this season in the cup, the previous round. He needs to learn to play with those players. They need to learn to play with him. Whether that's he needs to adapt to the system so that it doesn't look so different when he comes off the bench in those games, or we need to figure out how to best use him again. It's been a while since Joe, because he had that injury towards the end of last season. Right, the cameo appearance in the Europa League final, you can't really credit that. He was rushed back, wasn't he, just to try and get it. So before the Everton game, when he was playing great before Funes Mori'd him, and obviously Dortmund away, when he was looking at his best for us, he needs game time to get himself back to that because he is a young kid who shouldn't have too much put on him, but he's got so much potential. and he could be a massive weapon in our arsenal in the Premier League to be like, look, let's hope none of this bears out, but it's 0-0. It's 1-0. We're 1-0 down at home to Hull, and we have to change it up. Confident, haven't scored 1-2, assisted. Origi is a better player than Origi, who's coming in again cold.
Right. Yeah. Oh no, completely agree. Exactly what you're saying. That there's not enough football there to keep everyone ticking over, particularly in the centre forward position. You know, because like Danny Ings is the one who's going to have to do so much extra work, and he's almost, I would say, he's lucky that he's on the back of a cruciate injury because he's not in any way, shape, or form. But at least there's a reasoning for keeping him off and just getting him fit, getting him engaged in the 23s. Whereas Origi is third choice centre forward at the moment, so he needs to be getting these opportunities, and he needs to be taking them, grasping them with both hands, as it were, to make sure that he's ready. Because you're right, you know, there's going to come. We've already seen situations where we've needed him to come into a game, and he's not.
Hit the heights.
He's not the player
it's
that
funny,
ended
isn't it?
last season.
Because he's your third choice centre forward, but he's almost your first option off the bench if anything goes wrong, which belays the fact that he's actually third choice, doesn't it? Because you know, you to change a game, do you move Firmino out from centre forward, drop him back and bring Origi on, or do you move Sturridge wide and stuff like that? Origi's the one that offers us something massively different every single time.
He's second choice really, because if you're looking at the team for against Leicester, if you consider that your best team with Sturridge up front and Firmino on the left, then Origi is second choice centre forward, isn't he? And you're not moving Firmino to centre forward to improve your chances of scoring a goal. In instance, you go more attacking, don't you? So yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, hope he picks up where he left off in the last round, to be honest, because he looked a real threat in that game, and he is a really good player. And I think this is the thing. I personally can't see us making mass changes. I think it'll be a 3 at best, because for the things Klopp says, it's not that much footy. Tuesday to Saturday isn't, you know,
and Friday
Thursday
to Tuesday as well.
Exactly, you know, so there should have been enough rest in there. There are one or two key guys that you know, like Coutinho wasn't involved in the last round. There's no need for certain players to be in this, because we do have enough quality in there. But it'll be interesting to see. You're dead right. Key man prediction.
Oh, Sadio Mane.
Go ahead, because every week.
Because it's every week.
He's been poor. He's been poor for 2 weeks, even though he's still managed to score goals and assists. What about you, Will?
I'll go with who should play. I'll go with Divock Origi. I think he's a bit of a flat track bully, which is good, because that's never a bad thing in terms of football. It is if you live on a flat track, you know, and you get bullied by him. But like in terms of football, yeah, let's have him start. Let's have him look like the player that we know he can be. Yeah, and let's have him get a couple of goals against the poorest Championship defence. Yeah,
defo. Go Karius. I just want to see him. Whether it's key, I hope he doesn't have to have a key performance, but I want him to be good enough for us to be sat here on Wednesday going, does he start against Hull? Yeah, because he had a really good game, and we can see what he can do. And bear in mind that Derby got through 14-13 on pens in the last round. You know, if it ends up going that far, I'd like Karius to have it not be that dramatic. If it's a step up, save your first 3. Go home. Happy with that. So yeah, let's know key man predictions, comments below. Score predictions then.
3-1 to Liverpool.
Okay.
Sadio Mane scoring the goal.
Sure. Oh.
5-2 to Liverpool.
5-2.
Yeah.
The 2? The thinking behind the 2?
Yeah.
Just fuck it. Just say numbers, Paul.
Because there'd be logic to any time we do a score prediction ever. Yeah, no, I think it'll be...
What's the story in your head that led you to 5-2?
We'll concede really early. We'll dominate the game. We'll concede at the very end.
So we'll be 1-0.
It'll be 1-0, 5-1
up.
Yeah, and then 5-2.
I actually don't think that's outside the realms of possibility. Given all the stuff we were talking about, like the social media stuff, and all the Man United fans and Gary Neville are going to be dying to jump on Twitter and nail Liverpool if it goes tits up. I wouldn't put it past us to concede a mad goal early on, but I would be totally confident in us just going, puffing our chests out and taking a step up and going and battering them. But then League Cups, these games are always mad, aren't they? So they could well end up a mad penalty shootout, and your hopes of getting home before 2 o'clock in the morning would be utterly dashed.
Shattered.
At least your car's big enough to sleep in now.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll go with a. But let's just go with a straight up 3-0.
Okay,
Let's just have that, and let's just get on with it and move on to Hull confidently. Score predictions again. Comments below. Trivia. The question was: name the 2 players to play for both Liverpool and Derby County who are currently playing in the Premier League. I said I'll give an extra bonus point for a third. Who you could, if you wanted to make this a trick question, you could. So, Chris,
Jordan.
Jordan
Ibe was the one that I knew.
Jordan
I
Ibe.
couldn't think of anyone else.
Absolutely, currently at Bournemouth, of course.
No idea.
Okay. Daniel Ayala.
Okay.
Yeah, currently playing for Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And the half point is, you said him before we started filming,
Andre Wisdom.
Andre Wisdom, because he is technically still a Liverpool player, albeit out on loan at Red Bull Salzburg. So there you go. I actually really enjoyed that one. Last week was a real stretch. That one kind of jumped out at me quite quickly, which I'm quite pleased with that. If you got that right, pat on the back. If you want to do any more than that, that's entirely up to you. I've got to come up with this next week. But yeah, if you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're on the verge of 140,000 subs, and if you could be the one that tips us over, sunshine and rainbows and statues may well be constructed for you in the future. This is not a guarantee. Thoughts on anything in the comments below, and we'll see you post-match. Ta-ra.